In today's video, I get a lesson with England golf coach Stephen Orr. It's a really eye-opening lesson with really good insight into how I can work on my iron swing to improve control. Please stick around because some of these tips could really help you with your game as well.
What would you like to get out of this session then?
I'd probably rather look at irons.
Okay,
So
shall we have a look then?
Yeah, what do you
we'll
want me
get
to
started with like a mid-iron, like a 6-iron.
Yep.
Okay. Right, we're going to put 2 swings on video, if that's all right. Okay, when you're ready. Okay.
Oh God, that was bad.
Good one for us to see.
It's the best time to hit a bad shot is when someone's filming, isn't it? So at least you know what you've done.
Absolutely. So a couple of things I would say in your swing that I would say is worth exploring. So if we bring it down to impact, you can see that if we just look at the golf club, we can see that the shaft is lining up vertically very early, quite early. So you're almost delivering the design loft of the club. So it's like the head's passing your hands quite early. See, the club's gone past at that point.
Whereas my hand should be in front of the club head, really.
Yeah. Yeah, so as a guide, where your golf club is now 1 frame past impact, you should pretty much have your hands, your left knee, left hip, shaft all on that line. Yeah. But the first thing to get there is the club. So it's past your hands a little bit quickly, and that's going to tend to shut the club face. Okay, so what we're looking for is to try and get a bit more of you on that line, but also the shaft on that line and your hands a little bit further forward. So how do we do that? First of all, you tend to load your wrists quite a lot. Right? Yeah. And what I mean by that is you tend to cock your wrists a lot. So you can see that as you take the club away, you're really cranking your wrists back. Now what that does is that'll tend to make the club go quite a long way, but it also creates quite a bit of narrowness. You see how close the shaft is? One of the ways to get that narrowness out is to tilt back to create some room. Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to explore just using these a little bit less on the way back. Okay, and the other thing as well is when you swing to the top, it doesn't look like there's a lot of shift. Okay, it looks like you stay quite
I feel like I basically just like get to my right side and then just like move around my right side rather than coming back to this side.
Well, I'd say you could almost get into your right leg more. Okay, so to me what happens is as you take the club back, you stay quite centred with your pressure.
Okay, yeah, with you.
Wrists go a long way, so it's almost like you're a little bit too far left with a lot of wrist angle, so you've then got to back out of it. Yeah. Whereas what I would like is to try and explore is a little bit less movement of the wrists and a bit more pressure on your right foot so that you're more able to move into your left and then you don't have as much face to manage because you haven't used them as much on the way back. Does that make sense? Yep. That's the easy bit of the explanation.
I can't actually try and do it.
So I'd say a little bit more pressure over that right foot and then it should be easier to get us more over onto the left and, as I say, a little bit quieter with our wrists. So the way we're going to do this is you'll feel obviously your feet rocking a little bit. So as we take the club to the top, it's going to feel that there's more of a definite bump onto that right leg. Okay, and I think you'll feel that probably more than you have done at the moment. And when we take the club to the top, we're just going to try and quieten this down. So it's going to feel to you like you haven't really cocked your wrists. Yeah. Okay, so you can everything else the same, but it's going to feel a little bit more on your right side and almost no wrist cock. Okay, you'll still have plenty, but it'll feel like you don't. Okay, and then from there, it's going to feel early downswing. We're going to move the board, okay, and then we're going to turn on to the ball from there. Okay, so we'll just play around with that without a ball for a minute. Don't make a swing, we're just going to cock our wrists up, okay? Yeah. So if you swing the club up, and I want you to really cock your wrists back, all right? And that's kind of what you're doing in your backswing. So you see there's lots of wrist cock. With you. So now swing your arms up, but cock your wrists less. So it feels like more arms and less wrists. Feel that? Yeah. So it's like quieter here, yeah?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes I cock it so much, this hand almost comes off. Yeah. Because it's like...
Yeah, I can. that makes sense. That it would do, because you've only got so much range in your wrists. Okay, and then what's that going to do to the face control?
Well, yeah, exactly, it doesn't, because I can feel myself re-gripping it sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. I didn't associate that with wrist cock, though.
Yeah, so it's too much...
that way.
Yeah, radial deviation, they call it. It's a fancy term. Okay, which is basically just cocking your wrist too hard. So you feel the pressure. Where's the pressure on the board at the moment? Just as you're standing naturally.
Feels like my centre's like here-ish down.
Yeah, because the left is down, isn't
Yeah.
it? Which is actually normal. So you would actually be slightly left to start with because you have to move to the right, if you know what I mean. So that's fine, that's good. So early backswing, I want just a little bump. Okay, that feel more than you would expect?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, let's do that again. So just allow a little bump. And again. And again, now you're going to stay there. And you're going to wind it up. And we're going to just quieten these down now. There we go. That feels like no wrist cock, eh?
Yep.
Okay, that's plenty there. Okay, let's just do that again.
From here, or?
From the beginning. So we're going to feel a little bump. Good. And again. Okay, good. And then third time, we're going to bump. And we go, there we are. That's great. And you probably associate that with just keeping hold of the club a bit more as well.
Yeah, it definitely feels like I can hold it more with my left hand.
Okay. Now, from here then, we're going to, there we go. Good, good. Okay. And that feels a long way left too,
doesn't it?
Foreign,
like.
Yeah. And now you can just turn your middle
Yeah.
and deliver the left. You don't have as much to manage because you haven't done as much on the way back. Okay, so you feel now because you're on your right, you can move into your left. And then
it feels so different through those frames that that's why it feels the most different.
yeah, how so?
It just feels like the club head is like matching like the sternum and like you can control. It feels like you have something to control the face with.
Yeah, 100%. It's like your upper body delivers the loft.
Yeah, rather than
almost.
me just being like hoping it's square.
The way I think about it is if you held your hand out, right, and we were going to play Pam golf, okay, and I said to you, right, I want you to just hit my hand. So if you hit my hand, you know, half speed, but go through a little bit. So show me, so a bit of swing, and you're going to hit right through my hand. Right through, yeah, just go right through. Give it a bit of a whack. Yep, and again, a little bit harder. That's good. Now you feel the relationship between your upper body and your hand. Yeah? There you go. That's good. Now what's allowing you, so you do that really naturally, but what's allowing you to do that is if you back up to the top, is because of where you've put that.
Yeah.
You see how nice a simple position that is to be able to do that? Yeah, whereas if you took this a long way back and cocked your wrists a lot, you're going to have to
go like that.
You're going to have to make some compensation. So I often just think about the swing as like Pam golf.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a really simple way to like think about it, isn't it?
What speed would you want to swing at just now in the first few balls? Would you want to hit it kind of at full speed or power down a little?
No, probably like 50, 60%, something like that.
Yeah, so let's do that just in
I'm
the
just going
first
to try and hit the golf ball. That's the aim. Well, I made contact, so that's a good start.
Yeah, you certainly did. That's good. I always think when you make a change early on, it was something quite different, wasn't it? The flight. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, the flight was loads different.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Face didn't close.
It actually set off where my path was telling it to, rather than my face being like really different to the path, didn't it?
One practice swing. Just go through those little keys then. So a little bump. Don't overload the wrists, and then bump. Yeah.
Didn't bump to the left.
It's okay.
Well, it was a bit better than the last one.
Yeah, it's nice. Can you feel anything different in those first few swings, would you say?
The backswing feels a lot different, and I feel like that's easier to do.
Okay.
It's like forcing myself to get over here.
Almost because you're a bit more over there on the way back.
Yeah. I think it's just if you're I'm used to going like this, so my brain's telling me to do this.
Yeah.
So even if you do this and you have the wrist angle of what you had before, it's not going to work. So it's like, you need to get a lot of things right, basically.
Sure. No, you do, absolutely. Swing.
It feels a lot more matched up.
Yeah.
Like a lot more.
That was very nice. Really like the speed you've got there, you know. Give it a good, really give it a good thump. That's excellent. So I was looking at a second drill for you to take away, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to give you the second drill.
I just got hit a lot of balls doing this.
Yeah, that's excellent.
The wrist thing's made a... Because I've tried before to get more to the left side and struggled with it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the wrist thing has helped quite a bit.
Yeah, because if you make a backswing for me, right, and we were talking about you were cocking your wrist too much, I want you to do that more than you were doing for me, right? Yeah, even more, right. So if you imagine how would you square that club up? So if you now try to move to your left, okay, and start turning, right, there's no angles there, or there's too many angles to get out. So one way to sort of shallow that out is you'd have to then move your body differently, which is you tend to back out to create some width and some room. So it's almost like that back out movement. You got to look away from that and go, well, why is that happening? Because that's late in the swing, isn't it? So it's more about how you're taking the club up to the top that is just making it difficult for you to. Because already you can see you're moving onto your left leg better.
Yeah, and like the start line of them was so much more consistent.
Yeah.
Like,
club's not going past your hands as much. So show me, go into your setup again, and then just club up in front. Show me too much wrist cock. So just crank the wrist back. Yeah, okay. And you feel it's coming off, yeah?
That's what I could feel in my swing before. I could feel myself like re-grabbing it. I was like, this is not good news.
No. Definitely letting go of the club is not good news. So now, again, if you start with it on the ground, so just lift the arms, but just gently cock the wrist. So it's more just lift the arms. There we go. So you see how far the club's gone, but you haven't overdone it here.
And it's like more out as well.
Yeah,
rather than
more width.
Like if you do that, it's really in.
Narrow, yeah. So same feeling on the way back then. So we're going to get into that right leg. And then just, so this would be no wrist cock at all. Mm-hmm. That would be your setup.
Yeah.
That's if we just brought that back.
Oh, yeah.
There's no wrist cock.
Mm-hmm.
There's what feels like no wrist cock, but there's plenty. And there's way overdoing it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, feel the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, show me those three. Okay, it's good.
The club feels so behind compared to before. It's a little toey. The shot shape's just so much more consistent.
Yeah, face is more under control, isn't it? As you get more comfortable with this, you want to try and just simplify this into a couple of like trigger words. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, you might think bump, quiet, bump.
Yeah. 3
words just to make it less complicated. So I think that something like that would be good for you. So it's into your right leg early, quiet with the wrists, bump. And we'll just go just practicing, no stopping, just all together.
It's quite good having those words actually, isn't it? Because it gets you to do it without overthinking it.
Yeah, so you'll be able to almost say it in under 6 words to yourself. Yeah, and they've got to be your words, do you know what I mean? You'll, like you said, I would never think of it like that, but it's you're relating it to another shot that you've hit, so that's good. That's how you'll sort of personalise it to you, really.
But I think sometimes when you're doing change, it can be really hard to almost set off because you're trying to remember everything you've got to do before you go. Yeah. Whereas that, I was just thinking bump, and then once that went, I was thinking about the next bit.
Yeah. Face is definitely not closing on you now, is it?
No. That's nice.
Yeah.
Literally going in the same place every time.
Brilliant. Really good contact as well.
Yeah, the strike's a lot more consistent.
Yeah. This time just pause at the top. Yeah. Now try and go further back with your wrists. Back to your old way. Good. So you feel how it's like it's a stop there?
Yeah.
Okay, do that again from the beginning. So slowly. Nice and slowly. Okay. Oh. That's a little bit exaggerated, but you see how that's not allowing you to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again. Good. Good.
Oh, it's mad how far that's going.
And it'll
to
go,
me, it feels like it's like here.
Yeah, and it will go further when you have full speed.
Yeah.
So it will go further than you think. Good.
That's really good, thanks.
All right, no worries.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe to keep up with future video releases as we've got some really exciting content coming soon.